kidnapping and killing of a 16-year-old girl in 2003 before dismembering, burning, and dumping her body. He was also convicted in Kansas in the murder of an 80-year-old woman, and before he died, telling victims' families that he was sorry. He's the second of three inmates put to death at a federal prison in Terre Haute, Indiana, this week. Dave.
Jeff, it's now more than 50 million people who filed for unemployment since the corona crisis hit in March, so only about a third of them are still collecting checks.
Over 1.3 million new claims for unemployment benefits last week. The number of people who are still receiving benefits, the continuing claims number is over 17 million.
That's Fox's Ginny Casola. Americans also shopped more in June. Retail sales rose more than expected, but stocks are falling on Wall Street. Russia's at it again with more meddling. The U.S. and Britain and Canada accusing the Russians of hack attacks trying to steal coronavirus vaccine research. The day after the U.S. reported the most new daily corona cases yet, 67,000. Florida topped 100 deaths, so did Texas, where Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw says...
That's a whole variety of things. People letting their guard down, large holiday gatherings.
President Trump has blamed all the increased testing. He got a law and order endorsement from the National Association of Police Organizations. His Democratic rival, Joe Biden, has been calling for police reform, and his campaign co-chair says they knew that the union going for Trump was possible. America's listening to Fox News.
Bria's Fashion Boutique is the worst. First they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend.
Good morning, Mr. Bob. Ha, you gotta be kidding me. First. All right. We'll try it again. I'm not getting anything.
IT and simplify PC life cycles with PC as a service. Dell Technologies recommends.
It's the magic second try. Maybe. Uh-oh. Is it going to take three? I got nothing. I got nothing, honey.
The latest numbers showing worse than expected job situation, but better than expected retail sales. The Dow's off about 100. S&P's lost 20.
Third time's a charm. No, it's not. Ah. All right.
Only Morgan Stanley is trading to the upside. Dave?
Now, Lillian, we don't have Kroger's near us, but many Americans do.
Fourth time a charm?
I guess so.
Holy mackerel.
You still there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
I heard a click. Oh God, I lost him again.
No, I'm
I just don't hear you. Let me hear you.
Let's see. Testing 1, 2, 3. Tim, moderate fare and abstinence, much prizes. In public, but in private, gormandizes. Ever since follies have pleased, fools...
All right, hang on a second. All right, I hear you through the headphones, but for some reason I'm not picking you up through the...
And you're enjoying an ice cold drink with friends and family. You can have all that on a deck built.
Hello? Hello, hello? Got nothing.
0477 DECK. Tell them Harley sent you. Hi,
Hi, this is Albert Martinez.
Try it again. Hello, hello. This is crazy, man. Can you call on a landline? Hello?
Go. Talk, go.
Oh, okay. Good morning, folks. Man, I'm happy to be here this morning. I haven't been outside yet. I'm still in Houston, in a undisclosed location on the west side of downtown. I've only had to pay off 3 panhandlers since I've been here. I'm sure they had a heck of a party last night, but I'm here at the meetings before the convention. Actually, the convention is kicking off right now virtually, and if you're a delegate or an alternate, you probably got an invitation to that, and probably during the first break I'll click over, open a new tab, and get into the general session, and who knows, I may just have to hold the microphone up to the computer speakers here and give you a little treat of the opening moments of the virtual Republican State Convention. So before we get into some details on what I did yesterday, because I had a great day yesterday. It was one of those days where everything I had planned didn't happen. And but everything that happened was greater and better than what I had planned. So I guess that would I don't know. Is that God's hands on things? Yeah, just a really good day yesterday. I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. So the Hill Country Preppers are having their regular monthly meeting, the third Thursday, tonight at Buzzy's. Wish I could be there. Would sure enjoy some Buzzy's barbecue. I had a good dinner last night, but it was as far from barbecue as you can get. And so it'd be nice to have some Buzzy's tonight. And, I don't know, banana pudding or peach cobbler, it's the classic question. Someday we're just going to have to answer that for good and just get that question off of our plate. What is the best dessert for barbecue? Is it banana pudding or is it peach cobbler? And I guess we could put a third option in there that maybe the best dessert to go along with barbecue is both of them. A little bit of peach cobbler and a little bit of banana pudding. So anyway, get yourself over to Buzzy's tonight if you want to be a part of the Preppers Hill Country Preppers meeting. They have a epidemic expert over there this evening, someone who can tell us, give us a lot of information about what's going on. And so if you're in Kerrville or in the Hill Country, get to the Preppers, if you want to wear a mask, wear one. If you're all nervous, and if you're a nervous Nelly and are all freaked out about what other people are doing, then it's probably just to stay yourself at home. But the Hill Country Preppers and Steve and his sister have been doing an amazing job for, I believe, 7 or 8 years. We usually have Steve on Wednesdays before the Preppers meeting, and because I was here in Houston and my tech is a little bit different than what it is normally in the studio, we weren't able to do that. So what did I do yesterday? The plan had been, and I talked about it yesterday morning, and I encouraged you to go to the YouTube and find the Matt Long Show channel on YouTube. And I made a big deal out of, please put up your notifications. I'm going to be posting videos all day. You know what they say, the best laid plans of mice and men, something like that. We just had tech issues. We just had tech issues, and finally, after maybe the third interview of trying to do them live, and we were getting them recorded. And by the way, this is video, audio, everything. This is This is legitimate 21st century technology, and so we're going to have those up. So anyway, I did a bunch of interviews. We probably the first 3 interviews we tried going live, and it was just nuts. And I'm sure it's a vast left-wing conspiracy, or it's something as simple as I forgot or don't know how to set the videos from private to public. I have no idea. It could be the, like I said, that vast left-wing conspiracy, messing with all of us. So, so that's what I did yesterday, and I had just some amazing interviews. Let's see, we got Desi Andrews, a good interview with Desi. I got 2 of the 3 dads, as they have been unofficially, they've had that label hung on them. Very happily they wear it. The other dad I had recorded the day before, and we played his interview, the audio, yesterday on the program. So we heard the other 2 dads that I got a hold of yesterday. Let's see who else sat down there with me. Mike and Charlotte, and it was fun to interview them because this is their first convention, and we talked about why they were there. Let's see, a good list of interviews, and so I believe one of them has been posted up on my channel at YouTube. I got a text this morning from Jeff, and Jeff is the one with all the equipment and was helping me try to get all these videos and interviews done, and he got one of them posted this morning, and I'm not sure which one it is, but it's up and posted this morning, and so go check that out at the Matt Long Show channel on YouTube. And so that's what I did yesterday. A lot of interesting things happened yesterday. And we're going to talk about the impact of so many people staying away from the meetings, the pre-convention meetings. And I did hear from a number of people who were as confused as I was. My confusion was that we had heard, last week that the convention was canceled, and so when it says the convention is canceled, I just assumed that was everything. All of the convention was canceled. The meetings, all the temporary committee meetings, because I just have that all in one big package. Apparently, that's not how it works. And so the temporary committee meetings were meeting live in Houston, not at the convention center, but at the Marriott attached to the convention center. And so because of poor communication, and it's hard to not be critical, but because of poor communication on the part of the Republican Party, many people just didn't know those meetings were taking place. And so I missed Mondays, got up here, caught some Monday night, but then Tuesday morning was up and at it, and then Wednesday at all the committee meetings. Well, because of all of that, we very few people showed up to testify. And I guess if I were on one of those committees, you might just, breathe a sigh of relief that it's not normally the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that want you to listen to what they have to say. However, it was advantageous to the very serious grassroots folks who have an issue that they are absolutely diehard serious about. And so we're going to take a quick break here now, and when we get back, I'm going to give you a little bit more about the in-person meetings and what that impact was on grassroots people up there testifying from the grassroots. It was very interesting. So folks, we'll be right back after a short break. Oh, you know what? I have not had my mic on. There we go. Thank you very much. I guess that's why that little red light was flashing. Thanks, Bob, for the text. All right, so it's Thursday. This is the probably the last 6 Thursdays I have not been at the, or I have been at Tejas Smoke Depot. The last 6 Thursdays I have not been in Houston. And so the object of me going to Tejas the last 6 Thursdays was so I could practice and pull off a perfect program from here in Houston remotely. And I guess I didn't practice turning my mic on after break enough. So maybe it'll take more visits next time. But anyway, Tejas Smoke Depot. Jody texted me this morning and said that the phrase that pays for this week is God bless America. God bless America. So if you go into Tejas Smoke Depot, tell them you've heard about it on the Matt Long Show on the Patriot, and the phrase that pays is God bless America. So go in there and tell Jody or whoever's working, God bless America. I heard that on the radio, and that'll get you a little bit of a discount. It'll also get your name in the hat for a monthly drawing for a wee little gift certificate. So always nice. Tejas Smoke Depot there is on the west end of town. It is out on the Harper Highway. Some people call it the Junction Highway. For those of you who directionally challenged in the evening, you would be going towards the sun if you were going to Tejas Smoke Depot, and if you were coming from in town. And so that's probably one way to take a look at it. You get to the Y at the end of Main Street on the west end of town, and go to the left. Bear to the left, and down about, I think it's a half a mile, maybe a little less, is the Tejas Smoke Depot on the left-hand side. They have a drive-through as well, and so you can pull up to the window. If you don't want to get out of the car, you got the kids with you, you can pull up to the window, and they will take care of you there. And they got soda pops, they got snacks for the kids. They have a humidor so full of fine cigars, and as people in the industry call them sticks. They have inexpensive sticks, and they have high-end sticks, and they got sticks in the middle. They got a stick for just about any occasion that you need a stick for. I think they even have it's a boy sticks and it's a girl sticks. And so there you go, the humidor full of good cigars and all kinds. They got some wine. They got some all kinds of tobacco products. Roll your own, fine pipe tobaccos, a number of accessories, just about everything you need. And they got ice if you're on your way west and you're going to Harper to go to a barbecue or something. Stop by there, get your bag of ice on the way out of town. They also carry the local newspaper. I'm telling you that everything you need they got right there in Tejas Smoke Depot. So tell them Matt Long sent you down there, and the phrase that pays this week is God bless America. So before the break, I was telling you that it's been an advantageous, and I don't even know if I should say this, but it's been really advantageous for those few who decided to come on and head down here anyway to Houston. It has paid off because the numbers were low enough that those of us who did show up, the activists, the grassroots activists, it was very easy to interact with the members of the different committees. And you might have to wait 30 or 40 minutes, maybe an hour, not much longer than that if you signed up to testify, where sometimes, depending on how quick you are to sign up in years past, your name may be on a list that 5 hours before they get to you, 4 hours before they get to you, because so many people have signed up. So that has been an advantage to those who showed up. And on the Texas scorecard, I guess Brandon Waltons, I thought I saw him up there yesterday. I should have spoken to him. I didn't. If I see him today, I will. But I did see Brandon up there yesterday. I think I did. I'm looking at his picture now. Anyway, he wrote a good story on this, and he says, in-person meetings ahead of virtual Texas GOP convention attracts passionate activists. And it says circumstances have seemingly served to filter down attendees to those most passionate about conservative outcomes. And that was true. We've always had the less than conservatives who show up to testify and try to change, try to soften up the conservative stand on the Republican platform. Those guys seemed like they stayed home this year. Well, for the most part. There is an example of one that didn't, but for the most part they stayed home. Those who showed up, Gun Owners of America, the dads that showed up, those were the ones. The toll roads, anti-toll road lady, Terry Hall, know her and love her. She was there. And, of course, speaking, Bob Hall, Senator Hall was there. Let's see, the Republican Party of Texas convention is typically one of the world's largest political events, with thousands of delegates from across the state volunteering to elect leaders and set the party's direction every 2 years. And while the upcoming convention may have been moved online earlier this week, that hasn't stopped some conservatives from descending on Houston and getting involved in shaping the priorities and platforms of the party. Originally scheduled to be held in the Houston's George R. Brown Convention Center in May, the coronavirus, the Kung Flu, forced the event to be pushed back to July 16th through the 18th. And, of course, the next paragraph says Mayor Sylvester Turner canceled it. The whole thing was forced to move online. And if you were a casual spectator at the convention center's hotel this week, however, you might think it was business as usual. While the main portion of the convention itself is scheduled to begin on Thursday, that would be today, much of the most important work is performed by temporary committees starting on Monday. Because the fate of the convention was still in flux on Monday, the party's executive committee elected to keep those meetings in person at the hotel connected to the convention center. Two of those committees, the platform committees and the legislative priorities committee, attracted a smaller than usual but passionate in-person testimony from conservative grassroots activists interested in molding the platform that will eventually be voted on later this week during the online portion of the convention. And let's see, in some organizations, including those advocating issues for gun rights, equal parenting, medical privacy, and abortion abolition, even set up makeshift booths outside the committee rooms. And Jackie Schlegel was actually one of the interviews I did yesterday, a great interview, and I told her story as well yesterday about praying at the end of her testimony. It was just really moving, and I covered that on yesterday's radio program. So Jackie says, we were coming, we knew we had to come. We knew from legislative session in the last year that it wasn't the legislators who were going to be championing this cause. It was going to be the grassroots activists. And so we decided to go with some sort of booth, and this is Jackie. She said, we decided to go with some sort of booth in hand and try to reach as many people as possible, even if it's 5, 10, or 15. While conventions often bring clashes of different factions of the party, the atmosphere this year feels decidedly different, as the circumstances have seemingly served to filter down attendees to those most passionate about conservative outcomes. This is from Rachel Malone. She says, convention for me has never been about a party or having a good time. It's been about getting business done. Most of the business is done in the pre-convention committees. If you care about policy issues, all of that happens Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And Rachel continues, we knew that Texas grassroots activists were going to be here fighting for gun rights, and we weren't going to let them do that alone. We were going to be there with him. So Brandon finishes this story, which you can find on Texas Scorecard, and he says, as the saying goes, decisions are made by those who show up. Boy, that is so, so true, especially in this convention. So, folks, we're going to take a short break. We're going to come back. I'm going to change everything all up when we come back. I'm going to talk about renewable energy, windmills. Holy mackerel, because they are coming. They're going to start sending you invitations to join the renewable energy suppliers. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give you some information on that after we get back from the break. All right, I am back on then. That way I will remember. Yes, sir. Hello. Yeah, I can barely hear you, but I can hear you. Okay. All right, we are back, folks, and like I said, I'm going to change things a little bit this time. We're going to move away from talking about convention news. As I was trying to set up the get into the convention, I just ended up completely closing down all my windows in my computer here. Oh, got them back up. Seeing technology, awesome. So I'm in Houston at the Republican convention, which is not in Houston. It's being held virtually. So I am in Houston. I came down for the meetings before the convention, and so I'm going to be joining all the different. I'm going to stay here today and join in the different meetings on Zoom, as will the rest of the 8,000 delegates to the state convention. And the first general meeting is just opening up, and that's always the fun part. I think Friday's usually a little bit more crowded, but Thursday morning, when we're all in the big room together for the first time, and people got there early, the Kerrville group, I'm telling you, the Kerrville, Kerr County group, they're always the earliest, and so they'll get to our SD section because we sit in our Senate districts, and so the different counties then sit together within your Senate districts, and so Kerr County has always been top dog. They get there the earliest. I don't know what time they show up at the convention, but boy, they get there early and they rope off the front row, the front 2 rows, and they are there hardy and in charge. And the Gillespie County county chair usually traipses in about 3 minutes before the convention starts and wonders where we're all going to sit. But anyway, so that's what's normally going on, and all the hoopla out in the lobby and all over the convention center, no matter where it is, people meeting and greeting people who hadn't seen each other in 2 years, and all the ladies in their red dresses with their red hats and the elephant pins and some of them, just every form, fashion of silliness that you can see involving elephants in the color red. It's just a blast. It is so fun, and the men all looking sharp, and who's got the coolest tie, who's got the reddest tie, the most elephant-covered tie, the most Texas tie, and so all those fun things are usually going on about this time, and then we get in there and sit down, and it's like finally at 9 o'clock, the gavel knocks, and we start with a prayer and the pledge to the flags, and sometimes even have someone singing the national anthem, or I believe one year I even had someone singing the Yellow Rose of Texas or something. But it's just so much fun, and you can just feel the spirit in the air. And so this year it's going to be it's virtual. So what can I say? It's virtual. And so as soon as I get off the air today, I'm going to be logging in. And frankly, I don't know if you're invited, if you're not a delegate or an alternate. I honestly can't tell you if you can join in and watch. But there are if you'll go to TexasGOP.org, TexasGOP.org, look for the 2020 convention tab, and there might be some information on how you can join that live. Another way to do it would possibly be go to the YouTube channel of the Texas GOP. That is TexasGOP.me/YouTube. TexasGOP.me/YouTube. Now, I haven't tried any of those this morning because it all started at the same time. I was sitting here getting started with my program. But if you want to join live, if you're a delegate, you've already got your invitation. You got it last night, and there was a link to click. And if you're not a delegate, I'm assuming there is a way for you to at least watch, if not participate. And so check the TexasGOP.org, and there'll hopefully be some information there for you. Just a couple of minutes, but I want to talk to you about this Spanish renewable energy giant. They're called Iberdrola, and they have entered the Texas market by to the tune of about $500 million. I believe they are a multi-billion dollar company out of Spain, and whether or not you knew it, Texas gives out billions of dollars in, or at least the U.S. government, billions of dollars in tax credits for renewable energy. And so that if you think if you have a way of making renewable energy, you can get free money from the government, because that money just grows on trees, and they just give it away to anybody that asks for it. My tongue was planted deeply in my cheek there, if you couldn't tell. And so let's see, how do you pronounce that? Iberdrola. I guess that's how you would say it. You got to roll your R because they're from Spain, and do it with a lisp because it's from Spain. Iberdrola. So they have announced that they are entering into the Texas marketplace, and they have said they're going to offer a more affordable renewable energy option that is 100% sourced within the state, and that it is comes from windmills, and it's all Texas energy. Man, I guess you can't get any better than that. My granddad had a windmill on his farm. I'm sure your granddad had a windmill on his farm too if he was from Texas. And then, all Texas energy? Oh man, that sounds good. And so they have come into the market. They have fixed prices, and so you sign a 1 or a 2 or a 3 year contract with them for a fixed price, and depending on the length of the contract, you can get cheaper electricity. And so they make a couple of claims, which I would like to, or the Texas Scorecard would like to just tell you that these claims are just not true. Claim number one, they say that 100% pure Texas wind energy is all that is used to power our customers' homes, and every last kilowatt that's delivered is produced and supplied by our own Texas wind farms. First of all, in this claim, that is physically impossible. All right, the physics don't work that way. The electrons that flow through the electric grid are indiscriminate. So when an electron enters your house and turns on your hair dryer or your curling iron or your 4K TV or whatever it is, you don't know where that electron came from. It could come from anywhere. It's fungible, just like money is fungible. The electrons get into the grid, and they're all mixed in together. You cannot tell one electron came from this power plant or another electron came from another power plant. So now, if you give them a pass on that, if you just say, okay, I understand they can't really do that. And so what they're saying, if you push them on that, and if you look down in the fine print, what Iberdrola is saying is that they are also buying what are called renewable energy certificates. Yeah, just like your carbon offset credits that you heard so much about and we've made jokes about, we got another one for you, renewable energy certificates. So you can buy a renewable energy certificate. And what that means is that you own a kilowatt hour of electricity if you own a renewable energy certificate. And I may have the math or the science wrong on that, but the certificate is created by a wind company that actually has created that amount of energy from their windmills. And so when they create that, they get a credit for that. You can then sell that. So here's what's interesting. They get to sell not only the credit, but they get to sell the power. Are you getting the image here? Getting the idea? They get to sell that same energy twice. Their prices, affordable? Not really. Not really. I want to encourage you to go over to, let's see there, right now. It depends on the day you applied. So here we go. We've got a story. Someone went in on they went in on July 9th, and the price in Houston for a kilowatt hour was 11.9 cents. And if you went in on the 10th, it was 10.5 cents per kilowatt hour. They changed the price of their energy in one day by a penny and a half per kilowatt hour. So none of this, I don't even know what to tell you on renewable energy. I'm all for it if it works and makes everything cheaper and can supply us with energy when we need it. That's fine by me. I don't care where it comes from. If I turn on my light and there's power, that's great. I turn the AC on and there's power, it's great. I don't think the government should subsidize new inventions. So I have a real issue with the state of Texas. And by the way, the state of Texas, our Texas legislature, did create a tax credit, a production tax credit. I think it has another name in Texas. It's called the Renewable Energy Credit, REC trading program established by the Texas legislature. So this wasn't just a bunch of hippies from Massachusetts that created this. It came from our own Texas legislature. So, folks, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back, and going to take on a little bit of a topic that a lot of people are uncomfortable with. So, prepared to get uncomfortable. We'll be right back. Yes, sir. Okay.
And no more Redskins for the Washington NFL franchise. Code talkers, that's what they're saying. The Washington code talkers, that's sports. I make them. When you're building a fence, use the 30 years of experience with D&D Fence Rental. People come from across Texas because D&D has everything from start.
All right. Folks, we are back in the fourth quarter. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be back in the studio tomorrow. It depends on a lot of things that happen this afternoon. And, honey, if you're listening, I tried to call you this morning to tell you that. Very likely I will be home tonight and in the studio in the morning, but that could change sometime today. So, love of my life, sweetie, I'll give you a call when we get off the air and get all of this straightened out. One of the things that is happening all over the country, and you've seen it now for 20, 30 years across the country, and even longer than that, is the LGBTQ movement has really gotten full steam ahead in the state of Texas, and even in our legislature, and even now we see it is attempting to move into the Republican Party. If you know anybody that's a delegate at the party this morning, and you're listening to this, and, well, you wouldn't know if you weren't listening, give them a text and tell them you really don't want the LGBTQ AI LMNOP plus 17 in the Republican Party. That we are a party that is based on Judeo-Christian ethics. We are a party that believes and is in our platform that marriage is between one natural man and one natural woman. I don't even know why I have to say natural, but it just came in there naturally. So a natural man and one natural woman. We also believe that the best home for any child is a home with a biologically female mother and a biologically male father. We know that families raised without fathers or children raised without fathers or children raised without mothers do not function as well in society, generally speaking, as children who are raised in a Christian or even a family that's with a mother and a father that are both deeply involved in care and love for the children. The Bible speaks very clearly about many things, one of which is homosexuality. I'm reading from an article by David Barton. We can wish that it didn't, or pretend that it doesn't, or arrogantly assume that what has been preserved for us in the pages of Scripture is full of archaic and backward thinking, that we are somehow more enlightened today, that some argue that things have changed, societal standards have evolved, and we need to change and adapt with them. Really? In the fog and confusion of our evolving and enlightened culture, it might be good to anchor a few clear beginning points. First, homosexuality is not a new phenomenon. As a sinful practice, it has been around for a long time. Second, the prohibition and laws against its practice have been in existence for an equally long time. Third, the Bible's position as condemnatory of homosexuality has never wavered. It is considered an abomination, something detestable and depraved, and comes with severe consequences and warnings. It has never been normative or natural. Fourth, God is a God of love, who died on the cross so as to effect a cure. Having conquered sin and death, he extends the offer of salvation to all of us. There is nothing that the gospel of Jesus Christ cannot cleanse, heal, and utterly transform, such that we are not left without hope. Fifth, Jesus did not come into the world to condemn or judge the world, but that through him we might be saved, and that's in John 3:17. So the purpose in addressing this particular area of sin is not for the purpose of condemnation, but rather to bring some clarity and confrontation to the confusion that has resulted. A beautiful axiom of hope is that God reveals so as to heal, that is, his heart. Jesus said, if you continue in my word, then you are truly disciples of mine, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. That's in John 8. He was offering them freedom, and he said it would be found by abiding in his word. Clearly, one of the very tragic results of prayer and Bible reading being removed from our public schools in 1962 is that children are no longer being exposed to basic standards of morality, and the erosion of morality is being seen in the fulfillment of Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Today's reality is that many simply do not know morality because they no longer have anyone to teach them. What was once a mainstay and part of our moral foundation has been set aside, purposefully excluded by some, and become a part of what's forgotten. The problem is that our conscience doesn't come preloaded with software and programming. I'm going to read that again. The problem is that our conscience doesn't come preloaded with software and programming. Rather, our heart is a tablet to be written upon and instructed. David said, your word I have treasured in my heart, that I may not sin against you. If the truth of God's word is no longer in there, the restraints of an instructed conscience are gone. In our efforts to push God out of the public square, we have knowingly or unknowingly set ourselves adrift. No longer are we anchored to truth and understanding as it is revealed in God's word, but rather we live in a time in which, quote, every man did what was right in his own eyes. That's Judges 17. Proverbs 14 reveals that there is a way which seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Isaiah 5:20 gives us a clear warning. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light and light for darkness. Woe to those who are wise in their own eyes. It would seem we have drifted right into these very waters. Homosexuality has become a cultural hot button. If you dare to believe that there is something wrong or unnatural with it, and that you're holding to a biblical standard of righteousness, you will find very few people even open to discussing it. Unless one validates and accepts homosexuality, to speak otherwise is hate speech. People seem to want to declare as, quote, truth what they want it to be, as opposed to acknowledging what has already been revealed. That's from David Barton. It is in the Founders Bible, and I actually only got through about a third of that, actually maybe even a fourth of that article, and it accompanies 1 Corinthians. Let's see, what does it accompany? Here we go. It accompanies it's at the beginning of 1 Corinthians. It's 1 Corinthians 5 is where it accompanies. I felt that was appropriate to read today because within the Republican Party, the homosexual movement is moving within the Republican Party. It has been around for a while within the Republican Party, and every 2 years the log cabin Republicans, and if you've heard that, that is the homosexual community that wants to be Republicans. And one testified last night that she just agrees with 99% of everything that the party believes in. But you know that thing about marriage between a man and a woman. She wants that strike. She wants that struck off. The idea that we have a plank in the platform that adoption should only go to whole families with a natural mother and a natural father. And she wants to strike that. In fact, she's a single woman a single gay woman who wants to adopt a child. And so she was in tears last night as some of her ideas were struck down by the committee, and was in tears, just saying she just didn't understand why she could provide a loving family, a loving home for a child that needed to be adopted, and it's why can't she adopt a child? And I guess all you have to do is look at the rest of the Republican platform. If we have a Judeo-Christian background, we know we're very clear on that in our background. And if we're going to stick to a Judeo-Christian background in the Republican Party, then it's important that all the tenets of that be advised. We can't just toss this out and toss that out and say, well, we're sort of Christians, but, we're gay Christians, or we're Christians that accept homosexuality. That's a tough one. And if it's in your family, that makes it even tougher. If it's in your family and it's someone you love, and Jesus didn't come to condemn the world. He came to save it. And there's scripture, you hear a lot of people say, don't judge not lest you be judged. And that idea, there's a little bit of a fallacy in that. We have an obligation, if it's someone who claims to be a Christian and they're practicing unchristian behavior, we have an obligation to correct them. In fact, we're even told that if we offer to correct them and they don't turn around, we're not even supposed to eat with them. However, the other side of that is those outside of Christianity, the lost, those in the world, we're not here to judge them. It's not our job to judge them. But I do take it upon myself to speak truth and to speak what I believe in, and I think the time has come where every one of us needs to stand up and speak truth. Folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Stay tuned for Lorraine.